Hi everyone, I'm Huub Hildenbrand. Thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we have lesson 6 of 4-note structures, and this will be devoted to really how to make music with just one structure. So it's about a static approach, static structure, static sound. So let's get right into the endless ocean of music. Alright, so please go down in the description below. There you find a link where you can download a PDF file, and I will go through this PDF file in this lesson, and I will demonstrate some ideas here. To give you kind of inspiration and different ways of thinking when improvising, and especially this becomes very important if you just play with 4 notes. You know, if you have just all the time you're just using 4 notes and you don't have like a progression or like a whole scale where you can play all the different melodies. It's really restricted. But it's, on the other hand, it's actually a third of the whole tonal material there is. I mean, we have 12 notes, so 4 is just a third. It's already a third of it. So it's not so little. But we have to maybe adopt a bit our way of thinking. And that's actually the great thing, because it's like, you know, it's like when you give a child a lot of toys and everything, and then whatever, of course it will play with these toys, but this will not you can't really judge the creativity of I mean, everybody can play with a lot of toys, so to speak. But to have just a little, you know, just maybe a piece of paper or two pieces of dust, whatever, there really the creativity comes, the imagination starts, and you go into this, and you will find out, and you will explore stuff. And if you can make music with 4 notes, staying all the time with 4 notes, and you can really make music, it will be of course much more simple to make music with more notes, because in this lesson we will talk about the different devices how to make music. And very often we are just thinking about tonal material. We think, okay, you can play Dorian over this chord. All right, okay, next. On this chord you can play a Lydian. Okay, but that's not it actually. Music is not just the notes. It's not like the notes you choose and then it's music. No, it has a lot of different other parameter, you can say. All right. So we go through this page, and then you will get the idea. First step, it's a good idea to be just prepared with a 4-note structure you choose. I mean, for this you choose a 4-note structure, and then we want to make music with it, so we have to be a bit prepared, our fingers, and we have to know where the notes are and stuff. So it's a very good idea to first do some exercises we talked about in lesson 5 to prepare yourself. So, and in the second step we will improvise with this, and we will take different devices which I will teach you in this lesson. And the idea is to really get into it, to really immerse yourself in this sound, and you just mentally you have to you have to think, okay, these 4 notes, they are all there are. So imagine a culture or imagine a time when musicians, there were only 4 notes discovered. So they had only these 4 notes, and then with these 4 notes they made all their music. And that's the way you should think, actually. They're just 4 notes, and everything you want to say, everything you want to make musically, you have to do with these 4 notes. It's a great restriction, actually. You can practice rubato, you can practice in time with a metronome, or maybe you have a drum machine or something like that. And you can also play with a drone or just with nothing. I take a drone here and I pick for myself, I pick a nice 4-note structure. I pick C with F. So C major triad with F. I like this structure, and I think this will be also more positive because it's major, so we will have a good feeling here in this lesson by listening to this structure. And also in this download file, actually, you see there is also a piece. What I actually did is it's called like you can say it's like a mutation. I took the first cello suite of Bach, the Prelude, and transferred it by that I just use the 4 notes A, C, E flat, and B, or A, B, C, and E flat. So A diminished with B. That's also one of these 4-note structures. So I try to recompose this piece by just using these 4 notes. Just it was 2007, I think, and I was very curious how whether that is possible and how will it sound, and it's quite interesting. I mean, this is not really like I would say I would never play this in a concert or something like that, but it's interesting to listen to that and to get the idea of what is actually melodically what is possible with just 4 notes. And actually that's a lot of possibilities you have. But of course the main atmosphere, the main character in a way of this structure stays. So it's actually a quite strange piece. And I also recorded it back that time, and I also put this MP3 in the file. So you can just listen to it and follow the musical notation, and yeah, just do it and get an idea of this concept. And maybe you want to try this yourself with another piece or whatever. Okay, so I choose a drone here. I choose my C. So what I really have here is like a C major sound with a force, which wants to resolve mostly to E, but that's another story. Okay, one idea is think rhythmical. So that's, of course, if I play rubato, there's not so much rhythm, but mainly, mainly the idea here is we take these 4 notes of one structure we choose, and then our concentration actually is on different parameters of music. So of rhythm, or later like dynamic, or different techniques like pull-off, hammer-on, and slides or whatever, to make music with this, to translate 4 dry notes into the musical world, to make music with it. And So there are a lot of possibilities to sing rhythmical, of course. Note repetition. Note repetitions is also important. It's also in some styles, like in jazz, very often you don't do it, but in other cultures you do it all the time, like with tremolos and so on. So I can put my awareness on repetition of notes. So you take one aspect and then be creative. And every concentration on one aspect can open a new door. Then we can vary the length of the phrases. We can put our attention on how long our phrases are. So shorter and longer phrases. Okay. Next would be the idea of rhythmic density. So that means how many notes I put in a certain space of time. Are this just a few notes, long notes, for example? Or is it more dense? Okay. Now also one very important thing, especially for us guitarists, because we have just 4 notes, and these 4 notes really easily come into the fingers. So our memory, our finger memory, is very, very quick understanding how we play these notes, and it's also easy for certain positions or areas to just see the visual shape of these arpeggios. And the problem is that we tend to let the hand actually guide us through the playing. So just the fingers know already, oh, this note is in this arpeggio, this note is in this arpeggio, and it's just playing it. And actually the outcome of that is no music, in a way. So always try to let your ear guide you. That you always try to play melodies which you like. And also look at the last line here. In general, take your time. Be concentrated, play less, listen, breathe, and relax. That's actually very important, because I mean, this really helps to focus on that, because then you're not just playing up and down and the notes go by, and very soon you are very bored with the whole thing, because it's not really inspiring. It's just these four notes, so static, so boring, you know. But think more like that. I show you what I mean. Okay, this feels very good, and also it's inspiring. You take your time. You wait for the ear what it will tell you, what note it wanna go, and then you're really into the sound. Then you really hear everything, and you play something and you get inspired to go further, or you just wait, or you play a note and just listen to it and think about, does it want to go somewhere? Okay, that's a general idea here for the whole thing. But let's go through more of these ideas, of these points here. Register. Did you ever think about register when playing? Maybe subconscious, maybe as a byproduct of some thinking, but to really think register and explore the more extreme register of your instrument. So only play the very low register. Different ideas about sound. For me, this is really reminds me now of an oud. Or go to a high register. That's an idea, or to explore the high register of the lower strings. That's also a nice sound here. Yeah, you can check this out also. Then we have dynamic. Dynamic is, for myself, dynamic is very much inspiring. If I put my attention on dynamic And that's especially if I play also with other musicians, then sometimes I tend to focus on the lineup of a band, to have more a peaceful drummer or percussionist and maybe no bass or something, to have more space, more blank canvas, you can say, more silence more possible in the music, that it's also possible to play very, very soft. And this is sometimes you hear this in other, like for example in Indian music, you hear this a lot in the alap, in the opening or introductory improvisation of a raga, because there you just have this kind of a drone happening with the tambura, and so you have a lot of space, and also there are a lot of. I mean, I heard a Shahid Parvez concert, sitar. They very frequently they don't use actually a tambura anymore, so they really create everything by themselves, and they play alone. So always they can go back to silence. It's possible at any time, you can say. That's a great tool to think, to put your attention on dynamic. So loud and soft and always, in a way, dynamic. I also have to make a lesson about it, but I'm thinking really, I mean, a lesson only about dynamic. I'm thinking about dynamic. I mean, sometimes you can think like something is very near, so it's loud. Something is very far away, so it's very soft. So actually, this dynamics is really a dimension in music, you can say. It's like it gives kind of a depth, so to speak. So so you think, oh, this is very near, and this is very far away. So it's a bit harmless, you can say, or it's more tender, or whatever. I mean, you can adjust also, and not adjust. Associate different feelings and characters with a different with soft or with loud. Loud is like shouting, for example, and soft is like whispering. Okay, so next one. Let's see, what do we have there? Okay, sharp contrast is also a good idea, because mostly that's what we are not really doing so much, to play very soft and then very loud, or very little long notes and then suddenly very quick fast notes. But it's interesting when you force yourself to do something like that, maybe quite unmusical, you can say. But maybe you get some ideas of it, and maybe you find ways, or you get inspiration to play, to think a bit differently, or that certain combinations really sound very good. So sometimes these points here force you in a certain direction where you have to find your way, in a way. That's the idea. Okay, expressive techniques like pull-off, hammer-on, and stuff. That's also sometimes we really forget to really focus on certain techniques. Get crazy, but just try out different things and explore. That's the idea in a way. Make mistakes. That's also cool, as long as you noticed it. Microtonal bendings. Okay, that's maybe something you can really check out if you follow this. Course about the Turkish classical music. There are you have to know the subject actually quite well. I think it's not about like bending or pulling strings and just play some notes in between. I think it's really necessary if you want to do it effectively to know about microtones in ways they are very musically used in different cultures. For example, when I have this four-note structure, C with F, I can think about, okay, maybe it's part of Rust, for example, and Rust is a has a lowered third in the scale. So a lowered major third. Instead of this E, I play this, or even a bit lower. That was an example of always playing the E lower, and there are actually quite some variations how low this major third can be. Also in Turkish music there are variations. If you like the sound, please check out this course about the Turkish classical music. It's really good stuff. Use open strings and harmonics. So for this you first check out which open strings are possible. In this case we have the two E strings and the G string, they are possible, and also harmonics. I mean whatever, how well you know your harmonics. Of course the G here and the G here, and the E and the E and the E. F would be difficult. We have a very low F here. Actually, and then we have this C. They're actually not really tempered in our system, but we can have a C here, E, F, G. I also have a lesson. This is online, where we discuss all the harmonics. So you can check this out also here in this context. So So you can also incorporate these harmonics and open strings. Fretboard limitation. Okay, you can also limit yourself even more to certain kinds of octaves, for example. You just limit yourself to playing in the octave from G to G. That you can do by limiting yourself even more. You also maybe get some different ideas. Question and answer. Yeah, to jump between registers, also an interesting idea. The thing is, music is like language, and one idea is really to think about speaking, not to think so much about every note, but think more about telling something, telling a story. Bit like that, bit like more intuitive, you can say, but more make variations, be more playful in a way, explore more, and don't take every note so serious, like melodically, that you have to really make good melodies, and a sequence you always have to be very right in a sequence to the next. More loose, it's more loose way, and that way you can also use for having a conversation, for example. That's also an idea. So to play like. Shouldn't be there, but what can you do? Also play voicings, and also like different excerpts of the structure. So just an interval. So you can just play like intervals, like. Chords. Or just like 4-part chords in this case. Them and play them. And also tone, that's also of course a very important thing to put your awareness on, because tone is how it sounds, how the quality of the tones of the notes will sound. So this is a lot, it's actually, maybe it's even more important than the notes themselves. Okay, so for example, more or less what's on the page. I mean, I didn't discuss all of that, but I think the rest will be just clear for yourself if you go through that. And as I said in the beginning, do it like that. Do some exercise first, like this melodic practice exercise of lesson 5. Do some exercises there, and then put on the drone. You can also download it from the website. I also will put the link down below in the description, and play with it. I mean, you don't have to use a drone, of course, but actually these drones are very cool for a lot of things actually. But you don't have to use a drone. For example, if I speak, I don't need a drone. You can play also with other people, of course, and or with another guitarist or whatever. I like this very much, this drone practice. This is, you always hear like a kind of a root sounding all the time, and when you play like single notes, they're all in a kind of a relationship, and you can play with them. Like an E sounds like a major third, and so on. Okay, what I do now is maybe I just play a little. Now, after discussing so many things, what you can do, I will just play a bit, and to give you an idea what I do when I just have 4 notes. Okay, that's just an idea, spontaneous improvisation on 4 notes. Okay, I hope you liked this lesson, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get also notifications if there is another lesson out. Every Friday is the time. And you can also donate. Just go on my website, guitar-academia.com. Yeah, there you can support me, support this channel. I would be very thankful for that. And I hope you like these lessons here, and stay tuned. So my name is Hildenbrand. Thanks for watching.